Do I need to adjust the camera? I'll tell you what, we're going to stay with that. I guess it depends on how good my hair looks. Hold on. What up, people? What up? Word up! Word up! Word up. So, couple things. Hate that I almost said, a couple housekeeping things. Couple of things, couple of updates. Not a lot. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what I'm doing, but it's been a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, since I last recorded when I was at a cabin getaway reading reading Scarecrow, book one. This week, later this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I have band shows. They're here in town, but it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So it's hard for me to get a lot of other work done, but I am going to try and work on website stuff, editing videos, prepping some side stories and some pieces that I can put on my site, those kinds of things. So I will hopefully do a video about that specifically when I get to that. I did have another consultation with a marketing specialist. That went really well. His name is Mike. Mike gave me a lot of information, pretty much provided me with a launch plan. So I will eventually come back and kind of, once I have my brain wrapped around that, I'll give you some ideas about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Fornicate, fornicate, fornicate. I don't know where that fornicate came from, but I kind of like it. Let me think. Oh, next week. So it is Monday now, today. And next Monday, next Sunday, I will begin reading Shadow. So I was going to go on another retreat. I actually looked at booking a cabin on Tybee Island, which is nearby here. Well, it's not nearby. It's a couple hours away, which is better than 5 hours. But I'm a freelancer, and my budget is limited, and I really couldn't justify paying for 3 nights in a cabin, even though it was a budget-friendly cabin. But I would need at least 3 nights because it took me 2 nights, basically a full day and a half, to read Scarecrow. So I'm assuming it will take at least another full day, at least 2.5 days, to read all of Shadow. So my plan is to start Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's 3 full days. And then if I need to finish up something, I will do so Wednesday morning. Yeah, all of that is just a quick update. But what I want to do today, and I want to get to very quickly, is this. Oh. All right, so you've probably seen unveilings, video unveilings. Shit, I just tagged my microphone. Of different things. Well, I'm going to do a video unveiling today of this, which is the next set of illustrations from my illustrator. Quick bit of background on my illustrator. So my illustrator's name is Logan. Logan has been a very, very close friend of mine since 2013. We met in 2012. He was a young man at a program where I worked at the time, residential program for boys who would otherwise probably be in jail. And he and we just connected in a very great way, fun and meaningful. And over the years, we have developed quite a meaningful friendship. I would say that he is definitely in the top tier of my friendships. And I'm not going to call him my best friend because then there would be all kinds of people who'd be jealous. Jealous. Anyway, Logan. Logan is my friend. Logan is like sunshine, pure sunshine. Like whatever he does with everything that he's made of, which I love. That includes when he does stupid shit, which is why this is mailed to me rather than emailed or delivered digitally, because homeboy is incarcerated. I haven't seen him in almost 4 years because he is in prison. Which is a fun little side note. I don't know if it's fun or not, but it is an interesting side note that the first 2 books in this series will have been illustrated from prison. So he has to mail them to me, and there is this intense waiting period where I am sweating bullets, as they say, and he is too, that it will actually be delivered, because I don't know if you've noticed here in 2021, but the United States Postal Service is not exactly at the top of its game, following COVID and other issues that we won't get into politically. But anyway, it's taken I would say probably close to 2 weeks for this thing to get here instead of 5 days. And that, I don't really know when he mailed it, but I know that he called me last Thursday, today is Monday, last Wednesday, to ask if it had arrived. And so we're nearly a full week late. We're not nearly a full week. I don't fucking know, okay? Don't judge my math. Point is, these illustrations are for book 2. So there's a tricky balance here, because on the one hand, I'm going to go ahead and start opening this. On the one hand, I'm going to show you some of them, and later this summer you will actually meet him, because when he gets released in August, and I'm going to Idaho to finalize illustrations. This is so much fun. Always check and make sure that the empty, the basket, I'm trying again. Not trying again. Oh yeah, I'm going to August this summer to finalize illustrations with Logan for book 1, and as many as we can get through for book 2, but book 1 will be the priority. Yeah. So that's coming this summer. You'll get to meet him. My plan is to actually have him illustrate something while I'm there, and so we will go through that process and shoot video of it. And I'll also talk to him and get him on camera, talking about the illustration process and what that's like. So you should have fun with that. He always sends doodle papers, which is where he just plays with his colored pencils, which he doesn't even use for my book, because these are going to be printed in I just saw the first illustration. He also will always write a letter, or usually a couple letters, or they're like journal entries. Okay, so this is Gathering Shadow, chapter 21, I think. I will assume that this is my rumen. I can't remember. Hold on, I'm going to get my book. I'm not wearing pants! I am wearing pants, or short pants. All right. So this is the manuscript that I sent him in prison. Literally, I had to print a manuscript so that I could get him the manuscript that he could read. Excellent. Oh, God. Oh! This is my scree. Yes, scree. I was really hoping for nipple rings and stuff like that. But yes, I'm not going to go into any of the point. I don't want to ruin the surprise for you. It's very nice. It's very it-esque. Chapter 20. It's smoke. with a silhouetted person in front of it. I love that grass. I would love to see that in color. The smoke is red. Blank page. 18. Love that background. Oh my God. I know what that is. So it's this is what's fascinating to me is when I open this up and I see these illustrations that he's drawn. It's like this magical moment because I am seeing this world that I have completely visualized in my head being represented on paper by someone else, through someone else's imagination. So that makes me happy. And so I know Logan. I love Logan. We've been close for a very long time. Oh. Ooh. There's so much going on in this, which you wouldn't understand because you haven't read the book. But you maybe have some kind of slight something indication. 9. Oh, there's oh, cool. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So this in particular is an illustration. He asked me to send him reference photos of a bottle laying at basically this kind of angle or a similar angle, and then some broken glass so that he could then composite that in his mind with some flowers, which he's adept at drawing. And this is actually from an older, this is from chapter 9. These are from chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 so far. But he had to wait for these picture references before he could do that. So he will often Sorry. It's updated. I'm not going to tell you what that is. Actually, I don't know what that is. Hold on. I'm going to have to research that one. Oh my God. All right, so this is a pickup illustration that he went back and did for the first book, Scarecrow. He's also sent me a new representation of the Scarecrow for the cover of that book, which I now have right here. But I'm not going to show you that because that's too much, too revealing. So he also sends me scrap paper he puts paper between the things so that, and he sends me lots of doodles. And this is work that he did for a character. Oh. I know what that is. Happy Land. Always fascinated to see. This is a pay check stub, pay stub. Failures. Wait. He's literally got naked ladies in this. And this hottish guy. Ooh, yeah, he is a hot guy. That's a major V-shaped torso he's got. So this didn't make the cut. That's the Tannibel. I'm pretty sure that is chapter 9, which is the broken glass and flowers. I think it's one of those Tannibel chapters. And he must have opted for the other one because he wasn't satisfied with this composition. But what I will do is I will try to convince him to allow me to use this on my website because it's an illustration. So this is a concept that he was working on for the bottle and the broken bottle on flowers, and I can tell that he was doing it on stones in the background, which apparently didn't work out to his satisfaction. He's very persnickety. More alternates. Actually, I gotta dig that. So this is something that he rejected, and I get it. This is the final version. And I don't know if I'll actually scan these in and let you see them because this is just a slice. This is a slice of these illustrations. But I love this flame. I wonder why he rejected this. Anyway. So that's it. That's kind of how the process goes. So he called me last night to do two things. One, to ask me to send him some more reference photos, which I'm going to do soon, and also to vent a little bit because he's exhausted because he has 2 jobs that he's working. He's a busy guy, and I get that, and I love to be working with him on this. And sometimes he has to remind himself that he loves this process too because it is quite taxing. And I am kind of blown away that he would invest as much time into it as he does because it's not his passion. I mean, he's passionate about me because we're friends. We're very close. And he's passionate about his work, right? So those are very important aspects of this, deal. I don't know what I'm saying. Those are motivators for him. But the other side of that is he is also very busy and he has limited time. It's the same with my beta reader. My beta reader loves reading. She's read every word I've written. I would say probably 4 times. On average, 4 times, sometimes more. Like the entire novel. Each manuscript she's read multiple times. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre to have someone who would invest that much time. I pay my editor. I'm going to pay my illustrator too, but he will not get paid until the books start earning enough money to pay for themselves because I don't have that kind of collateral just yet. But he and my beta reader both, they invest in this series on a level that is staggering to me. To think about their input and their contribution. I mean, they both say regularly that this is my book and it's going to be my book, and it will. That's true. I am my alpha reader. I think I mentioned that before, but still having this collaborative effort. I mean, this is a complex scene. Now, this didn't end up in the book, and Logan doesn't like these kinds of scenes, which are why most of his are really a micro view of something, and less macro as this. But even this, seeing the world and seeing these characters, I don't know what those naked women are doing in the background. It's hilarious. And why is that guy's shoes curly? Anyway, it's fascinating. Fascinating. I would say, all right, so he always likes for me to pick my favorite illustration. And honestly, of this bunch, I think this is my favorite. I just think that is such a cool, I mean, it looks fantastic. That hand is fantastic. And knowing this scene, it grips me. And I love the background, the texture there. Anyway, all that is it. I've got lunch in the oven. I've got a commercial video I'm shooting later today, so I gotta go. But I knew I wasn't gonna wait long to get these out. It's almost 2 o'clock. Oh my God. And I wanted to unbox these because I'm thinking I'm going to ask him to not send anything else in the mail. It is June now. He will be out in 2 months. A little less than 2 months. Actually, 2 months from yesterday. 2 months from yesterday, he will be released. And so I think any other illustrations that he finishes, he can just hang on to those, I think, until I'm there. I think that is probably best practice at this point. That way, I gotta get it. I just realized something. That way, there's no risk of them getting lost in the mail. Anyway, that's it. This is one of my favorite aspects. And I will say this, that another thing that is very important to Logan is not only that he is satisfied with these illustrations, but also that I am satisfied. So looking at these, I don't think I really have any edits or questions. I think I would have loved to have seen like a bone piercing or something through this guy or gal's cheek, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that would be, I might mention it to him and see if he's interested in that, but not necessary. Not something that I would insist on or even ask for. Yeah, this is a solid bunch, and I think that they're it's a nice variety of tone. Well, they all kind of have a dark tone, but he loves to focus on things like these, like mundane things in the background, like this is ale, and on this table, and those are totally harmless. But knowing what is happening just outside of this little macro zoomed in moment in this scene gives that more meaning, and I love that. Yeah. So he's about, I would say he's 2/3 of the way through with book 2 now. He told me last night that he has 14 chapters left to illustrate, including the front cover for book 2. So it's possible that he could get all of those done before I go and see him in August. It's going to be a tight window, but even if he doesn't, he'll get most of them done. Which means that in August, he's going to be kind of enjoying his freedom for a couple weeks, and then I'm going to go and we will enjoy his freedom together, and we will also work on this together. And then when I come back, it'll be basically I come home on, I think it's the last day of August or right before. In September, early September is when I begin laying out book 1, because I will have all of the illustrations finalized. Or if I don't, he will then have the capacity to make those final edits and send them to me. But hopefully we'll get all of those done while I'm there. I will do layout for book 1. He will finish up any illustrations that he has for book 2. And at that point, I will actually take with him a bundle of chapters for book 3, whatever I have ready for him. And I'll talk more about that process later for book 3, but I'm actually working on the draft for book 3 right now. And I have one full draft. I'm reworking it. And so I'll take him a cluster of chapters, how many chapters I can get through before going to see him in August. And these will not be final chapters. I will do at least one more pass through them before I send them to my editor for a developmental or a copy edit, probably a developmental edit. And so they will change after the fact. But they will be pretty close to, in content, in context, they will be pretty close to what they would be by the time I send them to my editor, which is where we usually are. And then if my editor deletes scenes or something and he's illustrated from that particular part of the scene, then he will re-illustrate that illustration. I mean, that's true. In book 1, I think he did 4 or 5, he redrew 4 or 5 illustrations. 1 or 2 because I wasn't satisfied, which he was never satisfied. If I wasn't satisfied, for sure, he definitely wasn't satisfied, and he probably would have wanted to redraw those anyway. And a couple because he wasn't satisfied and he wanted to redraw them. And then he redrew them like he redrew this one because we changed the cover, which I'm not going to show you, but that's the updated cover. And I'll talk about the cover and I'll talk about why when we get there. So far, most of the changes to the illustration for book 2 will be a matter of tweaking something in real time rather than redrawing, or even tweaking something in Photoshop, which he would do because I am not qualified to edit his photos. But I will tell you this very quickly. I will do 2 things with these. First of all, I will actually do 3 things with these. I will scan them using my scanner. I will photograph them using my camera. I put it on my tripod so that it's facing down. I have consistent lighting. I take pictures. Pictures usually are easier for me to edit and clean up in Photoshop, just because a photograph is closer to what your eyes are going to see than a scanner, or at least it seems that way to me. I don't know if that's true, but it is definitely true to me. Then what I will typically do, and I will take this one even though this is not going in the book, I will open up the photograph. I will select this background color because this is technically supposed to be white. I will select something that is white, as close to white, and color balance, white balance the illustration from that. And then I will clean up the edges around the illustration, trying to leave a soft edge rather than a crisp hard edge, because I would rather him, and then he will go into that later and finish the edges, because sometimes the edge fades out and blends in with the outside. Hey, Chuck. Sometimes he wants a hard edge. Like this is clearly a hard edge that he's going for. But this, which is not a finished illustration, but it definitely has softer edges. So I will do, and then once I've scanned them, scanning them is just to have a backup, photographing them, and then editing the photograph so that they are as close as I can get them to the final product, finished piece. Then I will take these little half sheets and I will put them in a portfolio with all of the illustrations that he's done so far in order. That's a fun little book to flip through. Anyway, this is a great process, fun, collaborative process. I love collaborating with other creative people. It can be challenging to do that because some creative people are not collaborative at all. They're very territorial. And it's also, it can be a racket because, you know, if I had to hire an illustrator up front, I probably would not have gotten this quality because I wouldn't have been able to afford, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to afford an illustration per chapter. I'm really fortunate to have an illustrator who knows and loves me enough to to illustrate the whole book like this and to not get paid for it until the book starts making money. And he's also smart. I mean, one of the things that we've agreed on is that he gets royalty rights, which means that for any of these novels where these illustrations are used, he will receive a percentage of that. Rather than me paying him a one-off fee for illustrating this, he's banking on this series making money long term, and yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I gotta go. I got a challenge. Nope, I got a challenge. Fuck me. I got a capitip up. I have to charge my batteries because I have a shoot today. Boom, boom, boom. And I just realized that. So adios. Peace out. Yep, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.